Hello, thinkers. What if I told you that 99% of people are living a lie so convincing that they'd fight to defend it? Right now, as you watch this, you're probably convinced you're free to think, choose, believe whatever you want. But here's the brutal truth Nietzsche discovered. Most of us are prisoners who've forgotten we're in jail. Studies show that 85% of people report feeling stuck in life, yet can't explain why. They have jobs, relationships, choices. So why this suffocating feeling? Why do you sometimes feel like you're living someone else's life? Nietzsche called this the herd mentality, and it's more dangerous today than ever. Every scroll through social media, every should you follow, every time you silence that inner voice because it's not normal, you're tightening the chains. But what if there were truths so powerful they could shatter these invisible prisons? Truths that only free spirits dare to embrace? Truths that society desperately wants to keep hidden from you? The question is, are you brave enough to hear them? Because once you do, there's no going back to comfortable ignorance. You wake up, check your phone, scroll through the same feeds, have the same conversations, make the same choices. But here's what's terrifying. How many of those actions were actually your decisions? Nietzsche saw something that most people refuse to acknowledge. We're living in an invisible cage built by others. Your parents told you what success looks like. School taught you how to think correctly. Society whispers what's normal, acceptable, worthy. And slowly, without realizing it, you started believing their voice was yours. Think about it. When was the last time you had a truly original thought? Not something you read online, not an opinion that fits perfectly into your social group's beliefs, but something that came purely from your authentic self. The digital age has made this prison even more sophisticated. Every algorithm is designed to show you what you already believe, creating echo chambers that feel like freedom, but are actually the opposite. You think you're exploring ideas, but you're just walking in circles inside someone else's maze. Nietzsche called this the herd mentality. And here's the shocking part. The herd doesn't just follow, it polices itself. Ever noticed how quickly people attack those who think differently? How uncomfortable you feel when someone challenges your core beliefs? That's not your authentic reaction. That's your programming defending itself. The most dangerous lie isn't that you're controlled. It's that you believe you're free while being controlled. A slave who knows he's enslaved can plan escape, but a slave who thinks he's free? He'll defend his chains. So here's the uncomfortable question. If you stripped away everything you were taught to believe, everything society expects from you, everything your tribe considers right, who would you actually be? And why does that question terrify you? God is dead, and we have killed him. These might be the most misunderstood words in philosophy. People think Nietzsche was attacking religion, but he was revealing something far more profound and liberating. When Nietzsche declared God is dead, he wasn't celebrating. He was diagnosing the collapse of all external authorities that once told us how to live. Not just religious authorities, but any voice that claims to have absolute answers about your life's meaning, purpose, and values. Your parents, your government, your culture, your influencers, they're all playing God with your life. And here's the terrifying, beautiful truth. None of them actually know what's best for you. They're just humans, making it up as they go, projecting their fears and limitations onto your infinite potential. But here's where it gets revolutionary. If there's no ultimate external authority, then you become the author of your own existence. You're not here to fulfill someone else's script. You're here to write your own. This is why most people panic when they taste real freedom. It's easier to follow rules than to create them. It's comfortable to have someone else decide what's right and wrong. But free spirits? They embrace this terrifying responsibility. If you're feeling that spark of recognition right now, that mix of excitement and fear, then you're ready to hear more. And if this resonates with your soul, hit that like button, because supporting content that challenges the status quo is itself an act of rebellion against the herd. Think about one area of your life where you're still seeking permission from others. Your career, your relationships, your beliefs. What would change if you stopped asking, "What should I do?" and started asking, "What do I authentically want to create?" The death of external gods means the birth of your inner divinity. But are you brave enough to claim that power? Here's a truth that will shatter everything you think you know about right and wrong. Morality isn't universal, it's invented. And the people who invented the morality you follow? They had their own agenda. Nietzsche discovered something revolutionary. There are two types of morality, and most people are trapped in the wrong one. He called them master morality and slave morality. And guess which one society has been feeding you your entire life? Slave morality says, be humble, don't stand out. Sacrifice yourself for others. Feel guilty for wanting more. Your desires are selfish. It's the morality of the weak, designed to keep the strong from rising. It turns virtues like ambition, pride, and self-love into sins. But master morality? It says, create your own values. Honor your strength. Pursue excellence. Your life is your responsibility. It's not about dominating others. It's about refusing to be dominated by their limitations. Look at your life right now. How many times do you hold yourself back because it might seem selfish? How often do you dim your light so others feel comfortable? How frequently do you apologize for taking up space, for wanting more, for being different? That's slave morality programming, and it's keeping you small. Free spirits don't ask, is this socially acceptable? They ask, is this authentic to who I'm becoming? They don't follow moral rules created by people who never lived their life, faced their challenges, or shared their vision. Here's the radical part. You have the right, no, the responsibility, to create your own ethical code, not based on what others expect, but on what serves your highest evolution and contributes to the world in your unique way. What would you do differently if you stopped feeling guilty for being extraordinary? What dreams have you buried under the weight of others' moral expectations? The chains aren't on your body, they're in your mind, and only you hold the key. What if you had to live your exact life, every decision, every moment, every consequence, over and over again for eternity? Would you choose the same path? This is Nietzsche's most powerful thought experiment, eternal recurrence. And it's the ultimate test of whether you're living authentically or just existing. Most people would be horrified at the thought of repeating their life infinitely. Why? Because they're living according to other people's scripts, postponing their real desires, settling for good enough, waiting for some day that never comes. But imagine living so authentically, so fully aligned with your deepest values, that you'd gladly repeat every single moment forever. That's the life of a free spirit. Here's how this changes everything. When you make decisions through the lens of eternity, the trivial falls away. That job you hate but keep for security, that relationship you're settling for, those dreams you're too old or too late to pursue, would you choose them again and again for infinity? The eternal recurrence isn't about literal repetition. It's about living with such intensity and authenticity that each moment becomes sacred. It's about choosing love over fear, growth over comfort, truth over convenience. Right now, think about the decision you're avoiding, the conversation you need to have, the risk you're afraid to take, the person you're meant to become but keep postponing. If you knew you'd have to make this choice infinite times, what would you decide? That's your authentic answer. That's your soul speaking. Most people live as if they have unlimited time to figure things out. Free spirits live as if every moment is eternal, because it is. This moment right now is the only one that's real, and you're either honoring it or wasting it. What would change in your life if you started living like every choice echoes through eternity? Here's what nobody tells you about becoming a free spirit. You'll become lonely in ways you never imagined. Not because you're broken, but because you're awake in a world that's still sleeping. When you stop following the herd notices. When you question what everyone else accepts without thinking, they don't celebrate your curiosity. They see it as a threat to their comfortable illusions. You'll sit in conversations where people complain about problems they refuse to solve, chase dreams that aren't theirs, and defend beliefs they've never examined. And you'll realize you can't go back to that unconscious existence, even if it means walking alone. Nietzsche knew this intimately. He spent years in intellectual isolation, writing truths that wouldn't be understood for decades. He paid the price of thinking beyond his time. But here's what he discovered. There's a profound difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is the pain of being disconnected from others. Solitude is the joy of being connected to yourself. When you become a free spirit, You trade shallow connections for deep self-knowledge. You lose fake friends but find your authentic self. And here's the beautiful paradox. When you stop desperately seeking approval from everyone, you start attracting the right people, other free spirits, other questioners, other souls brave enough to think for themselves. But this journey requires courage most people don't have. It means accepting that your family might not understand your choices. Your old friends might drift away. Society might label you as difficult, weird, or dangerous. The question isn't whether you'll face this resistance. You will. The question is your authentic self worth more than their comfortable lies? Because once you taste real freedom, once you experience the electricity of living your own truth, there's no going back to the numbness of conformity. The price of freedom is isolation from the unconscious masses, but the reward, connection with your infinite potential. Are you willing to be misunderstood by many to be truly understood by yourself? Right now, in this moment, you're standing at a crossroads that will define the rest of your existence. You've heard the truths that most people spend their entire lives avoiding. You've seen behind the curtain of social conditioning. You've felt the stirring of your authentic self. But knowledge without action is just sophisticated procrastination. The question isn't whether you understand these truths. It's whether you have the courage to live them. Here's your first step towards spiritual freedom. For the next 7 days, before making any decision, big or small, ask yourself this question. Am I choosing this because it's authentically mine, or because it's expected of me? When you reach for your phone, when you choose what to wear, when you decide how to spend your evening, when you respond to criticism, pause and ask, is this the choice of a free spirit or a member of the herd? This simple practice will reveal how much of your life is running on autopilot, following programs installed by others. And awareness is the first step to freedom. But here's what I want you to understand. You've made it this far in this journey of awakening. That alone sets you apart from the masses who prefer comfortable lies to uncomfortable truths. You're already demonstrating the courage of a free spirit. If these ideas have ignited something in your soul, write the word awake in the comments below. Let it be your declaration that you're ready to live consciously, authentically, courageously. Let it be a signal to other free spirits that they're not alone in this journey. Remember, freedom isn't a destination you arrive at. It's a practice you commit to daily. Every moment you choose authenticity over approval, truth over comfort, growth over safety, you're becoming more free. The herd will always be there, offering the illusion of security in exchange for your soul. But you were born for something greater. You were born to think, to question, to create, to become. Your authentic life is waiting. The only question is, when will you claim it?